This morning we were very excited about this interview. We have Joy with us, Joy Bossi, and we're talking about finding joy in gardening. Joy and joy.
Yes, it works really well.
It works really well. A lot of people think of gardening and they think of kind of at least a hassle. It's always an overwhelming thing, trying to get out there, pull the weeds, keep up on the bugs, keep up on all the things that are happening. And you say there's a lot of simple tips to keep that joy in the hobby of gardening.
It's so nice that edible landscape is coming in. You know, everybody wants to grow something to eat. Now, there's a lot of reasons. The economy, salmonella is another reason, and the fact that it's fresh, comes from your back garden. But if you're new to gardening or just getting back in gardening, it can be daunting for those things you just said. And I would hate to see new gardeners get into it and then get horribly disappointed because the weeds win or the bugs overcome you. And so we've put together in here seasonally things to do on all parts of your garden. So if it's in the fall, you start in the fall, because I believe that that's where real good gardens start, and then you just work through our book.
Yeah, you can't start gardening in May or June when you're thinking about the weather turning nice outside. And that's the nice thing about this book is that, like you mentioned, it breaks it up in the type of season. So let's talk about what kind of things people should be doing now that we're already midway through the summer. You know, the weather's hot outside. What should we be working on?
Strangely enough, this is when you start thinking about a fall crop.
Okay.
You can be planting those things that you could have or should have or maybe would have planted in the spring. Now it's been way too hot. If you plant them around the first part of August, then they will start coming to maturity when it cools off again. So you can get an entirely second crop into the same space.
Oh, wow.
Really double duty. Insects are rampant. We'll talk in the next segment about little beasties that are coming. Once it gets really dry and hot, they're all over the place. So you do need to stay ahead of them. I believe that chemical warfare isn't necessary. You really can do that with some very natural remedies. And so rather than getting out the big high-powered stuff, keep track of it, take care of it early, and then you don't have poisons in the garden.
And that's a great tip. Now tell me, what was the inspiration behind putting this book together? Because this book took a lot of work for you to put together. You have lots of colored pictures in here, and it's a simple guide for people all across the board that are getting ready to make their thumb even more green. What was the inspiration?
I think the biggest thing, Karen and I worked together on this because as a garden consultant, I go out all over. I have folks who email in or call in the radio program, and people just needed to know little things. Just tell me this much. You know, I don't want an encyclopedia. And so that was the inspiration, to try to tell them, well, I consider myself a gardening cheerleader. And I wanted to say to them, yes, you can. Look, you can do this. Just simple little steps. Don't panic. It'll work. You can do it. And that's where the book came from.
Yeah, keeping people calm is a key to gardening. Yes. If people want to purchase this book, you said Amazon's a great way to get it. Joy in the Garden. Also, your website, joyinthegarden.com. Easy enough website.
That's the one.
Easy enough to track down. Coming up a little bit later, we'll be talking about bugs and how to fight all those pesky little creatures that seem to enjoy attacking your garden. Brandon?